Welcome back to MGM and a Star Wars Legion battle report. It has been some time since we played this game and we're looking forward to getting it back on the table. Today we've got a match between the Rebels led by Luke Skywalker and the Empire led by General Veers. If you're new here, welcome. Our top priority is having fun and creating immersive battles rather than competitive gameplay. While we try to get the rules correct, mistakes will happen, and our tactics are questionable at best. If you enjoy the battle report, please let me know in the comments below. I really just enjoy creating them and sharing my love of the hobby with you. The Rebels are led by Luke Skywalker. He has Force Reflexes and Saber Throw. There are 2 units of Rebel Troopers with an extra Trooper, Z6 Trooper with targeting scopes, a unit of Wookiee Warriors with a Bowcaster Wookiee and Tenacity. They also have an ATRT with Rotary Blaster and Linked Targeting Array. For cards, they bring Son of Skywalker, You Serve Your Master Well, Push, My Ally is the Force, Return of the Jedi, and Assault. The Empire is led by General Veers with Electro Binoculars. He has 2 Stormtrooper units with a DLT-19 Troopers, targeting scopes, a squad of Imperial Death Troopers with DLT-19D Trooper, Offensive Push, and Recon Intel. They are backed up by an ATST with 88 Twin Blaster Cannon and ATST Mortar Launcher. They bring Maximum Firepower, Ambush, Push, Evasive Maneuvers, Imperial Discipline, and Coordinated Fire. The scenario we're playing today is Control, and we've laid it out like King of the Hill with an objective token at the center of the battlefield on the piece of terrain. At the end of rounds 2 through 4, each player will gain a victory token if they control that objective. At the end of the game, a player gains 2 victory tokens if they control the objective. We are counting that middle level as objective-controlled area, as it is within range 1 of the center, and we're in a meeting engagement deployment with clear conditions. As always, we appreciate you watching the video, and turn 1 is coming up next. And with turn 1 underway, maximum firepower being revealed by the Empire against standing orders for the Rebels. The Empire will take it, and General Veers is going to use his spotter rule as an action to hand out 3 aim tokens. He is then going to use his second action to move into cover and fire with his card maximum firepower 4 red dice. He will spend an aim token to re-roll one of these. He will surge to crit, and impact 2 allows him to change 2 hits to 2 crits, so 3 in total. The ATRT is looking for saves here, and it looks like all of them will miss, so that's going to be 3 damage. The Rebels draw at random and get the Wookiee Warriors, and they are going to use both of their actions to move, getting out of line of sight. With a random pull from the Empire, they get the ATST, and the first action from this guy is going to be to move forward. He's then going to use his second action to fire, and he's going to be targeting some Rebel troopers across the board. And he's going to fire with the main gun. We actually missed the mortar cannon that could have fired here as well, adding 3 additional white dice, but we fire out with the main cannon with 2 reds, 2 whites, 2 blacks. He spends his aim token, comes away with 4 criticals. On the defense roll, 2 will be saved, 2 will go through, and they will take a suppression. With a random pull from the Rebels, Luke Skywalker activates, and he uses both of his actions to move. The Empire draws at random against the Imperial Death Troopers, and we forgot their recon move here, so we are going to go back and allow them to get that initial move. They still don't have any Rebel Troopers in line of sight, however, so they are going to use both of their actions to move, looking to get into a better firing position. The next pull for the Rebels will be a core unit, and these troopers here, the unsuppressed unit, they are going to move at speed 1, getting out of the terrain, and they are going to eye down those Imperial Death Troopers that just moved into some cover. The second action will be to fire. The Z6 adds 6 white dice, the rest of them get a black die, and they fire into the Imperial Death Troopers. 2 hits will be removed for cover, and the Death Troopers will be rolling out red dice, attempting to block or get a surge. They do lose 1 trooper and gain a suppression. Next up, the Empire gets a random token, and they get a core draw. The Stormtroopers are going to move into cover. They will acquire a target, and those Rebels that did move into line of sight, the DLT-19 should add 2 red dice here. For some reason, we did black. That was a mistake on our part. Cover gobbles up 2 of the hits, and the defense is saved, so they just take a suppression. The Rebels draw a core at random, unable to roll off the suppression, so they are just going to move at speed 1. Up next, the Empire draws another core, and the Stormtrooper unit is going to move. They are going to get line of sight to the Rebel troopers that are in cover, and they are going to take shots here. 2 reds should be coming from that DLT-19. The rest are firing white. And while we once again screw up that roll, the cover negates both of them, so no harm done. And with the last pull, the Rebels will get the AT-RT. They are going to back him up and give him a pivot, not wanting to put him into too much of a situation with that AT-ST up front. And that brings turn 1 to a close, so a few mistakes there on our part where we rolled red dice for the DLT-19 when we should have rolled red. The Empire was able to cause some casualties, get some suppression on the Rebels. We will remove one of those here at the end of the turn as we prepare for turn 2. And we do have push revealed for the Empire. My ally is the Force for the Rebels. We quickly roll off to see who goes first, and it will go over to the Imperials. Rebels issue orders to the Wookiee Warriors and the Rebel Troopers unit, giving them dodge tokens. The AT-ST is going to get a token along with General Veers, and they pull random first and get the Stormtroopers up, a core unit. The Stormtroopers are going to take an aim and fire at the Rebel Troopers. And once again, we must mess up this DLT-19 the entire game. Should be red dice here, but they are going to spend an aim. They get precise 1, so they get to reroll 3. We'll remove some hits from cover, as also 1 more for a dodge. They will take a save and end up failing and losing 1 trooper. They are nimble, so they will get that dodge back. They activate next. They do roll off their suppression. They aim and fire into the Death Troopers. The C6 adding 6 white dice to this pool. We will reroll a few for aim and then remove 2 of the regular hits for cover. Death Troopers are going to take 3 saves on red dice, and once again blocking all 3. The next random pull goes to the Imperial Death Troopers, and they are unable to roll off their suppression, so only getting 1 action this turn. They're going to fire with the focus fire config down at the Wookiee Warriors, and it's an abysmal roll that will be taken out by cover. Up next with a random pull, we have Rebel Troopers attempting to roll off their suppression. It is unsuccessful. They will get 1 activation, or 1 action, and they are going to move at speed 1, getting out of the terrain. Up next with a random pull from the Empire, we do have the Stormtroopers that will activate another core unit. They are going to move and climb, going officially for the objective here in turn 2. This is going to draw the attention of Luke Skywalker for the Rebels. He is going to gain a dodge token with Force Reflexes, and he is going to use his jump ability to move forward, getting onto the 2nd level. He then launches into contact with the Stormtroopers up top, and he will get a free attack action. 6 black dice coming out with Impact 2, Pierce 2. Pierce 2 just negating any defense, or 2 defense rolls that they may get. And with that, Luke quickly chops down 3 troopers. General Veers will activate next, and he is going to use Spotter to give an aim to the AT-ST and use his 2nd action to move. And next for the Rebels with a random pull, the AT-RT activates. Going to use both actions to move here, trying to get in line of sight of some potential targets. The AT-ST then activates, moves forward with an action, and will fire the main cannons as well as the twin blaster. He's going to pour everything into the Troopers unit with Arsenal 2, and it's 3 full rainbows. A lot of hits are out there, and re-rolling some for the aim. We will reduce some of the hits out for cover, and 5 saves are required for the Rebels, and it's not good. They're going to lose 4 troopers there. Only the leader is left remaining. The Wookiee Warriors are going to activate next, attempting to roll off 2 suppression, and that is successful. They got 1 extra from that Death Troopers unit firing at them, and they're able to scale to the top of the terrain piece here. 1, this will give the Rebels control of the objective. They are going to decide to fire down at the Stormtroopers unit. The roll isn't that good, however. There will be some of these that are removed for cover. Impact 1 from the bow will negate one of the saves, and 2 of them will be taken down. And that will bring turn 2 to a close, so the rebels are actually going to control the objective this turn, and they will get a victory token. We did have a unit of rebel troopers that was cut down to a man, but Luke Skywalker certainly doing some work on the stormtrooper unit on the terrain. With turn 3 on the horizon, ambush being revealed by the Empire, Son of Skywalker being revealed, they roll off and the Empire goes first. The ATST activates and has to pivot for his first action to get a shot on the Wookiee warriors, 3 of a kind coming out across the board. There are only 3 total hits, and we do take some away for cover. While they will get a suppression, they take 2 wounds. And then we move back to the Rebels, where this lone solo trooper unit is going to move onto the terrain piece, looking to score the objective. General Veers gets the next activation. He's going to attempt to fire up at the Wookiee warriors, just getting 3 white dice here, hoping for something. The shot fails, however, and he just moves into cover. Next, we have Rebel troopers that are going to activate. They are going to move into cover as well, and then they are going to fire at the Death Troopers. The Z6 adding 6 white dice here. We reduce the hits for cover, and 2 saves coming out. Kind of hard to see there, but 1 does fail. One of the troopers is taken down, and they gain a suppression, and they are going to activate next with a random pull. And they're unable to roll off their suppressions. They only get 1 action here. They do fire up at the Wookiee warriors, and we will remove 2 of the hits here for cover. Wookiee warriors taking some saves. They fail both. That is going to cut one of those Wookiee warriors down. They will take an additional suppression. Up next, the AT-RT continues to move into position, moves forward with his first action, and he is going to open up at the stormtroopers across the way. The rotary blaster has 5 black dice that are firing. Total of 3 hits here. We'll reduce 1 for cover, and then the saves are coming out, and 1 will fail, so another one of the stormtroopers taken down, and they gain a suppression. The stormtroopers are able to successfully roll off that suppression. They then target the Wookiee warriors. They aim first. We finally get the DLT-19 right this time with 2 red dice. It's only going to result in 1 hit, and that will be taken out by cover. The Wookiee warriors do get their 3rd suppression, and we go back to the Rebels where Luke Skywalker activates, and he is going to fight with his lightsaber. 6 black dice coming across. That's going to be more than enough to take out the stormtroopers. Now, since his first action was an attack, Son of Skywalker says that he can attack again, and he throws his saber at General Veers. Pierce 2 negates the 2 saves that he made. General Veers takes 3 damage, and Luke Skywalker dashes out of the way. Up next, we have the Wookiee warriors that are going to activate, attempting to roll off 3 suppression, and they do get to roll red dice for tenacity. We missed this, I think, earlier in the game, but they do roll those off. They're going to fire down at General Veers. They do have him at range 2. We're going to minus some of these out for cover, and General Veers will be taken off the board after failing some saves. Turn 3 concludes, and a massive swing in favor of the Rebels. They will score another victory token, taking them to 2-0 in this one, and appear to be well placed to control this game moving forward. Turn 4, we see coordinated fire from the Empire and push from the Rebels. The Rebels will take it with a 2-pip card. Wookiee warriors again firing down, now targeting the Stormtroopers unit, and we'll resolve some of these for cover. Saves come out, and they are going to lose both of these units due to Pierce 1 from the bowcaster. The ATST fires up into the Wookiee warriors, getting a few hits. We do resolve some cover here, and while they are going to lose another Wookiee warrior and take a suppression, the Rebels are still in control of the objective. The AT-RT then activates, moves forward with the first action, and its second will be to fire into those Imperial Death Troopers with that rotary blaster. 5 black dice coming out, several hits, several crits. We will kind of resolve some of these for cover, but not really because they're so close. We just don't feel like it's necessary. The Death Troopers are going to take some wounds here and gain a suppression. The Death Troopers attempt to roll off their suppression, which fails. They decide to fire into the AT-RT right in front of them, getting several hits here, but the only thing that matters here are crits. The AT-RT takes another wound, and I think the writing is on the board for the Imperials here. We have more Rebel troopers activating and moving up onto the terrain piece, getting claim to the objective, and that is essentially going to bring our game to a close. So the Rebels are going to walk away with a victory here. This was our first game back in a few years of playing Star Wars Legion, and playing it in a skirmish format, which I like. That's 500 points or less. We did get some things wrong in this one. I obviously don't claim to be an expert on the synergies and the tactics of this game. I really just enjoy putting well-painted miniatures and terrain on the table and having fun, rolling some dice. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and you can also leave a comment with anything that I may have missed or could have done better tactically. I always look forward to reading those. I would like to take a moment to give a big thank you to the Supporters Club. Your names are on the screen now, as well as on a piece of our terrain somewhere. It's totally optional. If you'd like any info on how you can support the channel free of charge, it's all down in the description below. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.